Welcome to Scoreline Daily. I'm Mohammed and tonight we focus on one of the most anticipated divisional matchups of the season, the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. When you think about the AFC East, you think about two very different philosophies clashing head-on. Buffalo has built its identity on physicality, on a quarterback who embodies grit and firepower. Miami has built its reputation on speed, innovation, and pure explosiveness. Both teams enter this showdown not just chasing wins but chasing legitimacy as Super Bowl contenders. The Buffalo Bills' story begins, as always, with Josh Allen. At 6'5" and nearly 240 pounds, he is not just a quarterback, he's a force of nature. Allen can throw 60 yards off his back foot, lower his shoulder to run through linebackers, and improvise plays that defy logic. When he is in rhythm, he looks like an MVP. But here's the tension. Allen's greatest gift is also his biggest flaw. His tendency to play hero ball leads to turnovers. Last season, he finished near the top of the league in interceptions and fumbles combined. The Bills' success depends on whether Allen can balance risk with reward. Around him, the supporting cast has evolved. Stefon Diggs remains the #1 weapon, a surgical route runner, tough at the catch point, a nightmare in one-on-one coverage. But when Diggs is doubled, Buffalo sometimes struggles to find that secondary option. Dalton Kincaid, the young tight end, has been developing into that role, and James Cook is giving them flashes in the run game. Yet the run game has not been consistent. Too often, Buffalo asks Allen to be both quarterback and running back. That can work in spurts, but in a long season, it takes its toll. On defense, Buffalo's front seven has long been its strength. Von Miller, even as a veteran, provides leadership and burst when healthy. Ed Oliver clogs the middle, and the linebackers are disciplined. The Bills are elite at shutting down opposing run games. But the secondary is where questions linger. Injuries have thinned their depth, and when elite receivers come calling, Buffalo's defense bends. Against a team like Miami, with two track stars at wide receiver, that is a dangerous weakness. Now to Miami. The Dolphins represent the future of NFL offense. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are two of the fastest players ever assembled on the same roster. They turn routine slants into 40-yard gains, and they stretch defenses to the breaking point. Tua Tagovailoa's skill set fits this system perfectly. He doesn't have the biggest arm, but he has one of the fastest releases in football, and he throws with anticipation and accuracy. In Mike McDaniel's scheme, timing is everything, and Tua delivers. But durability is the shadow that follows Tua. Multiple concussions in past seasons have raised questions about whether he can survive 17 games of punishment. Every time he takes a hit, Dolphins fans hold their breath. That fragility puts immense pressure on the offensive line. When they give him time, Miami's offense looks unstoppable. When they don't, the rhythm falls apart. Defensively, Miami has been a work in progress. Hiring Vic Fangio to coordinate the defense was a sign they wanted more structure. Bradley Chubb gives them edge pressure, Christian Wilkins anchors the interior, and Javon Holland brings playmaking at safety. But the results have been inconsistent. They can look dominant one week and leaky the next. Against a quarterback like Josh Allen, inconsistency won't cut it. The history between these two franchises adds fuel to the fire. Buffalo has owned Miami in recent years, winning most of the recent matchups. The Bills' physical style has often overpowered the Dolphins' finesse. But this season, Miami looks different. Hill is on pace for record-setting numbers, and McDaniel's creativity is keeping defenses guessing with constant motion and misdirection. For Miami, this game isn't just about one win, it's about proving they can beat Buffalo head-to-head, not just run up the score against weaker opponents. So let's talk about the matchups that will decide this game. First, Josh Allen against Miami's pass rush. If Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips can collapse the pocket, Allen will be forced into mistakes. But if Allen escapes the rush, he becomes the most dangerous improviser in football. That balance may decide the outcome. Second, Tyreek Hill against Buffalo's secondary. No cornerback can run with Hill for 4 quarters. The Bills must rely on safety help, which opens space for Jalen Waddle underneath. Third, the chess match between coaches. Sean McDermott believes in discipline, defense, and ball control. Mike McDaniel thrives on creativity, motion, and tempo. Whoever imposes their style first will dictate how the game unfolds. Now, the X factors. For Buffalo, it's James Cook in the running game. If Cook can establish himself early, it forces Miami to respect the run, which opens up play action and keeps Allen from carrying the load alone. For Miami, the X factor is the offensive line. Protect Tua, and the Dolphins score 30 easily. Fail to protect him, and Buffalo's front seven will tee off, forcing turnovers. Let's not forget the playoff picture. The AFC is brutally competitive, with Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Baltimore all fighting for top seeding. Every divisional win matters. A victory tonight puts one of these teams in the driver's seat for the AFC East crown, while the loser risks falling behind in the wild card chase. With New England rebuilding and the Jets unstable, this division boils down to Buffalo and Miami. This game could very well decide who hosts a playoff game in January. So who wins? If Buffalo controls time of possession, limits turnovers, and establishes balance, the Bills have the formula. Their physicality still gives them the edge in cold weather, grind-it-out football. But if Miami turns this game into a sprint, if Hill and Waddle find space and Tua gets rid of the ball quickly, the Dolphins can overwhelm Buffalo in a shootout. It is power versus speed, brawn versus finesse, discipline versus creativity. My prediction: this one goes down to the fourth quarter. Buffalo will try to grind it out, but Miami's explosiveness is too much to contain for 4 quarters. Expect fireworks, expect drama, and expect a statement game that will echo all the way into January. Bills, Dolphins. 2 teams with Super Bowl aspirations, 1 game to prove who really runs the AFC East. That's why we love football. Stay with us for highlights, analysis, and reactions after the game, right here on Scoreline Daily.